We could do anything. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Welcome to A-Train Bets. I'm the A-Train, and I make bets. And today we're going to talk about what do you do when there's correlated bets on a game. And we do a lot of betting in the live stream. I'm constantly finding positive EV plays. And when we're doing a lot of betting, it's inevitable that some of the games are going to have a preponderance of the plays. You're going to have a lot of plays in certain games because for whatever reason, the market is unclear. One book has, some opinions on what that market should be. And they don't, it just seems like some games, the bets stack up. Right. And so the question that came up on the live stream today, which I'll show you the clip where we're talking about it, and then we'll follow up with a little bit more detail. But the question is around, at what point do we need to watch out for the correlated bets that exist in a game? And something like, and the way to think about it is like for totals in a Major League Baseball game, you might have a first inning total, you might have a first half total. So first 5 innings total, you'll have a total game total, you'll have you'll have team totals involved. You'll have the first 3 innings sometimes. So there's a lot of different totals you can play within a baseball game, and they all may have different levels of positive EV. They may be great positive EV plays. They may be mediocre positive EV plays. It just really depends on the nature of the game and how much you're getting in on things and what have you. So take a look at this explanation that I offered in the context of the live stream about how I manage or think about these correlated bets where you could be placing different time frames, but all on totals. And we'll come back. First half total, full game total, and team total all in the same game. It's a good question, right? So the questions around the correlation of some of these bets. I'm typically moving pretty fast. And while these bets are correlated, they're not the same bet. And I can tell you there's plenty of times where when I have something like this, where I win some and I lose some. So most of the time, I think it's they are different events, they're different time scales, but they all have EV. So I'm not worried about the amounts that I'm playing here, especially because of the wits are often reducing my overall outlay. So from a pure like risk of ruin perspective, it's less of a concern because I'm doing confidence-based weighting. Like for this example, I'm looking at a $91 bet instead of a Kelly bet of 138. So I have some room to give there. And so I'd rather spread across multiple bets on slightly different things, which will help my variance. Because if each play is positive EV, then overall I stand to have a more diversified portfolio if I'm betting multiple things as opposed to one thing. I'm also running into a situation now where even at my bread and butter places like FanDuel, I'm hitting their just normal maximums. I'm not getting like excessively limited, but for my bankroll, I'm now running into maximum bet sizes a lot. And so that's something that I have to be cognizant of as well. So if I spread it across multiple bets, again, that becomes less of a concern. So hopefully that little clip was some good information about how we manage this. In a lot of cases, we just don't, because while they're correlated, they're not the same bet. So we want to be thinking about, okay, is it okay to have some correlation there? Yeah. If a positive EV play is a positive EV play, you kind of want to make it, but you want to be managing your risk appropriately as well. For the most part, we're placing so many bets that one little highly correlated piece of our overall portfolio of bets for a day, we have 60 bets in on a day. It's not a big deal if 2 or 3 of them are heavily correlated. Granted, it could swing our day substantially in terms of profit and loss, but it's also we don't necessarily win and lose all 3 of those bets, even though they're correlated, right? And so you can keep that in mind. I want to show you another little bit of an example, just with a little bit more detail. So here's a game that's happening today. Tampa Bay Rays and Arizona Diamondbacks. These are bets I actually have. So these are bets that we have. We have bets at DraftKings and FanDuel. And right now, the closing line value is looking pretty good, but we have a first inning total of under 0.5. We have a run line of Tampa Bay Rays -2.5. You have total runs over 11. We could be adding in other bets on the Tampa Bay Rays and their team total, Arizona Diamondbacks, but we're just going where the positive EV plays exist. Like, we just don't know what we're going to find as we're looking at the math to drive our betting. A lot of people traditionally are using, what do I want to bet? And then where do I get a good price? We take the opposite approach. We're looking at where do we get a good price Where is their positive EV based on what the market is telling us versus the odds that we can actually place somewhere? And then we understand, okay, what is the qualitative nature? What is the actual bet that is occurring? So when we're going through and finding bets, we're using, the positive EV screen or using these other screens to find here, where are the opportunities to make a play and understand whether or not that's a positive EV play. So like in this case, we've already made this play because you can see from the red triangle, but this is Will Smith over 1.5. I didn't go looking for Will Smith. I don't even know if Will Smith's on the Dodgers or the Rockies, but I bet it because the math told me to. And if you look at the line here, you have plus 165 at FanDuel against the rest of the market. Look at that market. Everybody else is at like 120, 130. That's exactly the kind of thing. And so when I come at it from the math perspective, if I don't click on this and say, okay, well, what bets do I already have on this? Maybe I have correlated bets, maybe I don't. But a lot of times when I'm like, whoa, 7% return, I'm interested. Let's go play that, right? So that's where we're coming from. And so it is important to think about the overall portfolio risk management. It's also important to think about, too, how much are you betting? If you're at a Kelly criterion percentage of 0.75 or 1.0 and you're betting a lot of highly correlated bets, you're taking on a whole lot of risk. If you're at like 0.25 like I am, then you can afford to have some correlated bets and not have to worry about it, but you're placing a lot of bets and you're recognizing like each individual bet isn't that big of a deal. The other thing to keep in mind too is that as your bankroll grows, you probably can't get down everything you want to get down on these bets. And so you may find that it's advantageous to have a bunch of highly correlated bets because you want to get more down on these opportunities. And so you will get to that point as well where you're like, give me all the correlation you can because I'm laddering everything I can find. I'm doing everything to try to get as much money down on these opportunities because your bankroll justifies it. So there's a lot of considerations here that you're going to want to think about as you're looking at some of the intricacies of betting with this. And while I use OddsJam, as you all know, like I'm a huge OddsJam supporter, this is truth around being a sharp sports bettor when you're looking at a price-based, what I call a denominator-based strategy to doing betting. You don't start with the sports. You don't start with the bet. You start with the math. Where is the math showing me, hey, there's a 7% opportunity? That's probably something we're going to be interested in if the other metrics around it match up. And so if this is new to you, there's plenty of other videos that I have that will teach you all of these intricacies of becoming a sharp sports bettor, and it will open your eyes to how this works. This is much more like a financial market, like a stock trading scenario than it is, getting sports trivia and making bets based on that. This isn't magic. This is the touts would have you believe they have these magic decoder rings of they know exactly what's going to happen in the future. We're not even bothered with that. We're like, we have a good estimate based on what the market's telling us of an event's likelihood of occurring. I don't really care what the event is. I know what the market tells me that event is likely to be or what the outcome is likely to be or what the percentages are. If that were repeated 10,000 times, it's going to gravitate towards that likelihood. Any individual event is going to happen, whatever happens. But we can use math. We can use highly sophisticated models to understand. And actually, the models aren't even that sophisticated. We're looking at a market. We're trying to assess the market as advanced as we can make it. But making the play is simply saying, oh, this is a market outlier. They have a difference of opinion compared to what we think their true odds are happening. This is an opportunity for us to make a wager. That's what we do with positive EV betting. That's what we will do in trying to find opportunities in the market. And that's really the nature of a lot of advantage play gambling is when you have a better odds of an event occurring than the cost you're getting to make that bet. That's kind of truth across the whole thing. Think about how card counting in blackjack works. You have a slightly better advantage in certain hands than in other hands based on the makeup of the deck. They count the cards in the deck and then they bet more when the advantage is in the player's favor because of the rules of the game. Same deal here. So advantage play gambling is advantage play gambling. You have to understand the math. You have to understand what's going on. But this is not sports gossip tied to making bets. Save that for entertainment. Save that for $5 bets. But if you want to be serious about making money gambling, understand the math. Understand this is not magic. You can do this. You can learn this. And understanding the bet correlations will really help you manage your portfolio of risk and bets on a daily basis so that you can make the best plays possible and grow that bankroll, grow your profits in a much more methodical manner. And so with that, Hopefully that helps. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please go to atrainbets.com. You'll find links to a bunch of other stuff. And if you are interested in signing up for OddsJam, please use my link, atrainbetsoddsjam.com, and promo code atrainbets. You'll save 20% off for life, and you'll get my famous, hopefully famous, money machine spreadsheet calculator that will help you assess market opportunities and do that. If you sign up with my link for OddsJam, that costs you nothing. So use the link, reach out. Once you're starting paying for OddsJam, I'll give you that money machine and it is yours to use. So do that. And if you already have OddsJam or don't want to get OddsJam but do want the money machine, you can join our Patreon. You can find the link for that at atrainbets.com. Once again, thank you so much for the support. Keep watching the videos and don't hesitate to reach out if I can be of assistance or answer any questions, because I'm here to help you learn and become a sharp sports bettor too. Tired of the touts, tired of the nonsense, tired of the snake oil salespeople. Let's go and win money. Let's go play, have a fair game against the books. We can make that happen. So keep watching, keep learning, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
What you gonna do for it? How you